Hi, it's Nick here. If you're a fan of my work, then I know you either like tarot, horror films, or both. My latest project is a tarot deck inspired by Italian Gothic horror films of the 60s and 70s. Referred to as giallo films, their movie posters were known for their dramatic and bold graphic design choices. I'm bringing that same aesthetic to a new Rider-Waite style tarot deck that I called Tarocchi Gialli, where each card is lovingly crafted to look like a film poster from the era. It's launching on Kickstarter February 19th. To learn more about the project, follow me on Instagram at Chain Assembly or visit www.chainassembly.com. Like I was saying, I'll do that any day of the week, but never on a Wednesday. So today I have with me Leslie, the wonderful realtor Leslie Haas. We have just a strictly professional relationship. Just kidding, with my wife. You've probably heard her on a lot of ads lately. Get used to that. I enjoy having her support me, and I like supporting her. So, we're starting the first of something we plan on doing regularly throughout the year, particularly in the holiday season, and that is review Hallmark movies. Say hi, Leslie.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. You can clip that. You don't have to hold it.
I know it fell in my hair.
Okay. All right. If you hold it like too close to your mouth, then it gets muffled. So
I'm sorry.
okay. We're also trying out some lapel mics.
It's my first time on a podcast, just like most people.
Yeah. Well, you're doing great so far.
Oh, thank you.
We're only a minute in, and you've already nailed it. Okay, we're also on our second cup of coffee of the day, so keep that in mind.
Oh.
Our espresso machine broke, so we have just been...
Let's not talk about depressing things right now.
Okay. All right, so the movie we're reviewing premiered yesterday, just last night, on Hallmark. It is part of their...
Mahogany series.
Mahogany series?
Yes.
Wasn't it also January, I think they call it?
I think it was Love-uary.
Love-uary, sorry.
Yeah.
January would make sense. Why didn't they do January? So these are all movies based and inspired by Jane Austen stories. So why didn't they do January instead of Love-uary?
Well, I don't know when it technically started, and Valentine's Day's in February.
I know, but January is a better pun than Love-uary.
Well, I don't know if it's all Jane Austen theme, if that's what you're talking about.
I believe it is.
There was, what I'm saying is I believe there's other Love-uary new movies that are not based on Jane Austen.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. There just happens to be a whole bunch based on Jane
in
Austen.
February.
Okay. Well, maybe next year we'll get reruns of all the Jane Austen themes ones and call it January.
I guess so.
Or in August they could do Augustin? August?
Like Austin, Texas?
No, like Austin from Jane Austen.
Oh.
But August.
Ignore me.
Okay. It didn't work. All right.
Sorry.
So, let me see. Got IMDb here. We both took notes. So, Sense and Sensibility. This one was directed by...
Wait, should we caveat of, have you read Sense and Sensibility?
No. So, I'm going to have to review the story as I understand it via this movie.
So, that's what I wanted to caveat everyone in, is that we have not read Sense and Sensibility, the book, but do we own it? Of course we do. It looks beautiful on our shelves in the whole collection we have. I have seen the one, I cannot tell you what year it was made.
96.
96. Okay, I just remember. Yeah.
When in doubt, 96.
When in doubt, which makes complete sense. I grew up watching Sense and Sensibility with Alan Rickman, Emma Thompson, Hugh Grant, because my older sister was in love with that movie, so I had no option but to continuously watch it. It's a good movie. I enjoy it very much.
From what I recall, it was directed by Ang Lee, who went after that. He did The Hulk, or did he do Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon directly after that?
By the way, I am not into movies like he is.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I feel like the way this is, it's every director has to make a Hallmark movie.
So just looking at IMDb, this comes to us from director Roger M. Bobb. It was written by Tom Huddleston. No, sorry, Tim Huddleston. Almost Tom Hiddleston, but the letters are switched. Tim Huddleston, and co-writing credit from Jane Austen. So I wonder if her estate gets any money for that. Or, I don't know.
I don't want to say public domain.
And IMDb suggests other movies like Dating Mr. Darcy, An American in Austin, Love and Jane.
So that was the one that was on right beforehand, the Love and Jane.
Love and Jane. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a portrait like the Disney. Anyways.
Oh, the silhouette.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we get the storyline, rated TVG. And so, like, looking at the cast on IMDb, they look way more gorgeous than they did in the movie.
I mean, they're beautiful in their shots, yes.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go into our notes. The first note I have is black people.
That's what I was telling you. It's mahogany.
Oh, so that's what mahogany means?
If you're not familiar with the card Hallmark line in general, there's a mahogany. And as well, I unfortunately can't tell you years or how long, but they also now have it on their Hallmark channel. But again, we've only been Hallmark intense just until we've gotten am I allowed to say peacock on here?
Yeah, why not? Why
I don't know.
Peacock? You think we're going to get demonetized because the cock isn't in?
Anyway, because we've been having Peacock this last couple of years that we're able to watch it every time. I'm so sorry. And anyway, so the mahogany line features cards specific to black people.
Okay.
So
one note I have related to black people that I did appreciate about the movie, which I thought was a good idea that was kind of hurt by the terribly low budget, is they decorated some of the background scenes in the movie with like classical paintings of black people in like regalia.
Oh.
So it's like, normally you'd see like a portrait of great uncle Hubert III or whatever, but this is like a black person with like a white wig, and then like I'm like, oh, okay, look, it's like they're trying to add to the realistic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did not notice that.
Okay.
But
there are only 2 paintings, and they kept showing up in different locations.
Oh no. Yeah, so we did notice that. First of all, usually when you have Hallmark, all their budget, I swear they save is for the snow, and when it comes to the winter, the Christmas movies. But here they spent money on drone footage, it felt like, of the actual estates. And there were a variety of estates between Norland, Devonshire, I can't think of what Willoughby's estate was called, but anyway, throughout those
something cottage.
Well,
that was Norland College.
That was that was with on the Devonshire estate, and it was, oh gosh, where did it go? Oh, Barton Cottage.
Oh, Barton.
Yes.
Cottage.
So they did have a variety, and they clearly were not like, well, the cottage one maybe, but the actual like big estate ones were real.
Yeah.
Like that's where it was. Potentially one of them on the inside, I don't know if they actually filmed there or not on the inside. One of them kind of was. Clearly they rented out a bed and breakfast, but there's plenty of times that they've used the budget on like Airbnb places. So
I wonder if like part of the reason that they got that high quality drone footage was they're like, hey, location, if you go halvesies on this drone footage rental, you'll get to use it for promoting your bed and breakfast.
But I don't think it was, granted this is just Hallmark budget. Yeah. I felt like they had a good amount of budget for what the Hallmark movie is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I did have a comment related to that, is like the beginning of the movie, the costuming was gorgeous.
Yes.
And then it got weaker as the movie went on.
Just as I felt like with the setting when I was like, oh, the scene, I felt like this is an Airbnb because that bed comforter did not go with that time period.
Oh, no. A lot of it didn't. A lot of it felt like the White House kind of decor.
I didn't think a lot of it, but towards the end, like I felt the quality of the outfits. Like they were like, crap, we need to start changing these outfits. Let's tear up the ones that we originally made and start stuffing them, switching their fabrics. Which is kind of disheveled seams.
Yeah, I mean, I guess thematically they're supposed to be down on their luck or whatever.
Oh, I see what you're saying, but I felt it with all of them. Well,
Yeah.
except for the ball. When they had the ball, or whatever they called it, the whole dancing thing,
Right, yeah.
there was a
Yeah.
lot more costumes obviously involved because there was hundreds of people. I felt like not hundreds, maybe 50.
So a comment I had also from early on, when we first meet Edward, who is one of the potential love interests, he shows up riding up to the estate on horseback. And it was hilarious to me that I could tell it wasn't shot with a telephoto lens. So the cameraman was probably no more than 20 feet away from this guy on the horse, but he's like crouching low and looking up. And so Edward has to like ride by on a horse pretending there's not a cameraman right there. And it felt so awkward to me. I don't know why.
Well, I just realized I've been on a horse a few times in my life, but it's like, are those Hallmark people, they're not paid a lot and they're specific type of actors. Like, do they already know how to ride the horse? Hey, you get 10 minutes with this instructor on how to angle the horse or turn the horse so that you're not running into that cameraman that's 20 feet away.
That's a good point.
I don't know if I could have, that quick of a turnaround of how to quickly steer a horse, because, when you're on a group tour, those horses sometimes don't want to listen to you.
Well, speaking about that, there's a scene later on where, what's the middle daughter's name?
So I guess I'm impressed.
What's the middle daughter's name?
Marianne.
Marianne. When Marianne falls down the hill, I was in the bathroom. I missed that part. Was it a stunt person? Like, do they have a budget for stunt people? Or are they like, Marianne, you want to save this role? You're going to roll down this hill.
I mean, it was the like fakest of grass.
Okay.
Plush wise, maybe. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe they did like film in frickin' England.
Oh yeah.
Or United.
I'd like to know where this was shot.
I would like to know where.
Feels
because
like Bulgaria or someplace super cheap.
Where else they had really nice grass. We're just used to Florida grass here.
Yeah.
As we're bundled up and it's 68 degrees outside.
Another note that I wrote, which I feel like is a problem with Hallmark movies in general, too much music. Do they have to fill every moment of the movie with music? Can't we just have people have like quiet conversations?
So do you mean music in regards to the pianoforte that was playing, background music? What do you mean music?
Background music, like the score. Like, I feel like they rely too heavily on the score dictating the emotions that the audience needs to feel at that given moment.
I feel like
they don't trust the actors and the writing to deliver that emotion.
I was just about to say it's probably because they don't trust all the actors. Because again, we're talking about specific quality. We know there's movie quality acting, theater acting, Hallmark specific acting. What is that called? Like TV episodes?
Soap opera.
No, not so. That soap opera is a different sitcom acting.
Yeah.
So Hallmark is its own genre in acting. And so I think you do have to use the materials around you to juice it up.
Okay. Well, I mean, I get that because they don't really... Again, this might be a problem with the Jane Austen story and maybe how it's awkwardly unfilmable. But I feel like she's like, oh, hi, pleasure to meet you, Edward. 5 minutes later, we're going to get married and have babies. So they don't let the relationships develop. They don't let anything exciting happen. I mean, they make everything happen way too quickly. It's like, as Leslie was saying, it's like Anna from Frozen.
Yeah, I characterized Marianne, the middle daughter, as she was giving Anna from Frozen energy in regards to we finish each other's sandwiches. And the quick of, but that was also what things were then. Yet you could have an engagement for 4 years or you're married in 2 seconds, because if you aren't married by, 17, it feels like sometimes in these stories that you are a spinster, and especially how they show that ad as Eleanor, the oldest sister, to my feeling is like, the oldest sister still isn't married yet either to help take care of them since the brother screwed them over. But, they're going to latch on quick. They don't want to be spinsters and then, be penniless, living in someone else's cottage, not on their land. So they're going to hook up with the first one that supposedly has a good fortune coming, since they don't have a dowry to give. Since, again, what's the brother's name? John took it all away.
So I missed the beginning.
Because of Franny.
I missed the beginning because I was cleaning the kitchen. So what's the plot in the beginning of the movie?
So the father he's on his deathbed. He looks very much alive and awake, so he's in that part where he's just about to die, so he's like alert and oriented. Not all the kids, the daughters and the wife are surrounded. He's saying like, I love you, things like 3 daughters and the wife are in the scene. And so he passes away, and so they're in their mourning period, and they're talking about what's going to happen with them, because the estate doesn't go to them, it goes to the oldest male, which is the son, John. And John has promised to take care of them, and to that they'll be given a certain fortune, dowry, can still live at Norland where they're currently at, which is a very large estate.
So John wasn't a cousin? He was like their brother?
Correct. He was their oldest brother. Whenever he came in saying, sisters, I love you, and I was like, I corrected it saying, oh, that's right, he's a brother, not a cousin.
He was the only white person in the family?
I was mixing it up with Pride and Prejudice. Correct. I'm sorry, you didn't see it. The father was white.
Oh, okay.
Caveat.
Okay, I'm like, it's weird that the oldest son is white and everyone else in the family is black. Okay, so the dad was white.
The dad was white.
Okay. I guess they don't want us to ask these questions in these kinds of movies.
Kill off the white people. I should take that out, please.
No, that's okay.
Oh, good, my microphone. Anyway, so then that's when it shows them also introducing the character Fanny Ferris, which is his wife, Edward's sister. But we don't know that yet. Anyway, so they're talking about Fanny, like, oh, we'll be with John and Fanny. And then so they're coming up. Fanny and John are in a carriage. Is the next scene them talking about saying, well, John's just quiet. Fanny's there telling him what to do, saying, you're going to basically kick your family out. We've always wanted to live at Norland. We're not going to let your sisters be there. It's our place. And so they get gigantic. My gosh, I know. 36 bedrooms, 40 bathrooms, probably. Actually, that's chamber pots. I don't know what they really did back then at that time. Anyway, so so the sisters and the mom are on the steps of Norland as the carriage pulls up, and they greet each other.
Probably because they couldn't get permission to film inside.
So, and then the next scene is they're, like walking up the steps saying like, sorry for your loss. And then Fanny like makes a comment about, I can't wait to be in here and change things up. And then they're at, and then they're at like dinner or luncheon or something like that. And Fanny starts bringing up about, oh, the place it's gorgeous, by the way. And she's like, oh, it needs so many repairs, taking a look around, things need to be updated. And then so she like hits John kind of, and he goes, yeah, so that's going to be less money that because this place needs all the fixing up, that we can't give you as much for your monthly allowances, and we won't be able to do like a dowry for you. And then that's when, did we meet Edward by then?
I remember he just came up via horseback, riding on horseback.
Oh, right. So
that's when he first met Meg and Meridian.
Oh, Margaret and Marianne. Wait, that was Willoughby. Were you talking about the fall?
Are you tired of riding an emotional roller coaster every month? As a woman, I get it. The Women's Wheel is here to be your emotional anchor. Understand your cycle and discover the archetypes that resonate with your unique and dynamic emotional landscape. Together, let's find balance, strength, and a sense of ease through the changes. Head to womenswheel.co to start your journey of self-discovery and emotional empowerment today.
No.
Anyway, we had met Edward by then because he was at the dinner. And when he was saying how long that he was going to be there, and he was like, oh, I will be here. And that's when Fanny interrupts, no more than a month. Like she could dictate it because it was her property all of a sudden.
Oh, I think I remember that.
But Edward's like, 1 to 2 months is when I would like to be here. And then Edward brought up about the charm of the place. He goes, oh, but because of its historicalness, it should be preserved and it's kept up its charm. And then that's when John, who clearly can't think for himself, pipes up and goes, yeah, I do like this old charm. We shouldn't change anything. So, here's the money.
So this is just an aside. I know fanny's a dirty word in England. At one point, and Jane Austen, I assume, is British. At what point did that become like a normal name for a woman to have to become a dirty word in England? Not that you have the answer to it, just something I'm wondering.
I don't know. I guess fanny pack.
Like the bag?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because it's used like that in America.
When you said fanny pack, my first thought was political action committee. Like a super PAC to raise funds for. Anyways, okay.
Okay.
I had too much money. So when we first meet Edward on that horse scene, Margaret just pops out of nowhere, the youngest daughter, and starts like threatening him with a fake wooden sword.
Oh, actually, children are weird actors.
So one of my notes is the actress is probably 15 years old, but if she's playing like a 9-year-old, and it's very uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the fact that like Edward plays along with her, that reminds me of something that like it's kind of like a screenwriting 101 thing, is like if you have a dislikable character, you need to have them take care of a stray cat.
Oh yeah.
Which is something that happens in Madam Web. So that's what that reminded me
gosh.
of. So like, not that he's unlikable or anything, but like we see him for 30 seconds and he instantly plays with a little kid. So that's supposed to be our audience going, okay, he's a good person. And now the middle sister is going to have a crush on him because he's so sweet to the younger sister.
Which grosses me out. But we're not.
And I'm like, that's
children.
lazy writing.
It's lazy writing. We're not into children. I get it. And so when I see they're like, oh, we have to be lovey-dovey to a child, or just the way he interacts with her. And I'm like, this scene still could have been better. But, it's the trying to hook you in to his character. I get it. It was,
and also Hallmark rules.
20 seconds. Hallmark
it would
rules.
Be great if he just ripped that wooden sword out of her hand, chucked it into the woods, and they just kept walking.
All the time. Yeah. So
that's what we do with our dogs.
Yeah. But yes, you always have to come back to Hallmark quality.
So they get kicked out of the house, and then they move into some other land that's owned by Mr. Middleton.
We'll stop. Pause it for that second, because what I'm going to talk about is in regards to the mother, and so her character, and feeling that they're now becoming paupers, peasants, since they're having to leave Norland, and that the oldest daughter, Eleanor, had to do
played by Susan Lawson Reynolds. Yeah.
But to where she had to go and do the work and like go around asking family, hey guys, we're about to be kicked out of our home, since the mom's like, we're going to be out of here in a week to go where, who knows, because she has no money in her bank accounts.
Oh yeah. I thought it was weird that they used the term bank accounts. That just didn't seem period accurate.
We're like, do they have
I figured it'd be like, oh, we don't have enough shillings in our ledger or something like that. Not bank accounts empty.
Right, exactly. Like you don't have a bank
card's
account.
Not
the debit card's not.
Being rejected down at the CVS.
Debiting, yeah. Anyway, so
Debitshire.
And Eleanor puts the word out like, hey, is anyone able to house us? Brother's kicking us out. Dad died, and the mom's like, why did you tell everyone our situation? That's like disgusting. And she's like, well, Mom found us a place to live. One of our, can't quite remember the relationship. I'm always going to default to cousin, but I can't remember anyway. So
everyone's a cousin.
Everyone's a freaking cousin, because they're all related to each other majority of the time. It's either that or they're in war together. So they, this one person's like, hey, my wife just died. You can come and stay with me. I have this empty old cottage that you can go and live in. And then the mom's like, oh, cottage, disgusting. What are we, peasants? Anyway, so they move into the cottage of John Middleton.
This is what I want to pop in. John Middleton, my note is Mr. Middleton gives off community theater energy.
So I know
he felt like he was hosting like a Christmas carol. He's like, oh, come on down, children. Welcome to the estate. Oh.
So this is, again, didn't read the book, but I feel like it's going from the energy of the movie done earlier that, Emma Thompson, all that. Because in that, I remember the Middleton and his mother-in-law that's still with him are very gossipy, rumor milly, like just want to spill and start the tea. So they're very theatrical in their characters. So potentially maybe they're like that in the book, to where they're very flamboyant, over the top in regards to what they're talking about. So maybe they were picking that up, because it reminded me, that's when I remembered, like, oh, that's right, Hugh Grant was in this movie, because the way Edward was acting was just like Hugh Grant.
Oh yeah, he's like, oh damn.
I know. I was like, so there's no way they, I don't know, maybe Jane Austen did really explain the character of Edward in the book, and his mannerisms of like his gait, his mutter, his static speech sometimes. So staccato, not static.
My next note is every now and then you'll see like a servant bring something in and out of a room. They look so uncomfortable in those clothes. Like they don't take normal steps. They look like they're trying not to fall because they're wearing platforms and these tights, and they're like, oh. It's hilarious watching the servants try to walk around in the costumes. And also, they looked very French, the servant uniforms. I don't know if you noticed that.
I don't know what it was like then.
No,
I don't. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe they all went to the French Academy of how to place. Oh, because yeah, I remember in kind of going off, in it's the TV Gilded Age. Thank you. In Gilded Age, and they were like, oh, they know how to serve in the French style, and be like the one from the olden time, the mean woman. Whenever they had to invite the people over. Anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. I also wrote down impressive hair. So I know they're all wigs, but like it looked like Afro-American hair, but still done up in like fancy British style. I don't know. I thought they were cool looking wigs.
Again, like costume budget, like they did really well on that, you know, Hallmark wise.
Then I wrote down only one room, because every scene that takes place in that cottage is just the one parlor where the piano is.
Okay, so yes, the cottage is smaller, but it does also occur in the other movie, because that's their one room. You know, they talk about being, the mom talks about being peasants and so small. They're only able to entertain this one room that has the pianoforte in it. So they go to that.
So what's a pianoforte?
It's a piano, I think. That's just old. Anyway, I don't know.
I mean, forte means strong.
Is there 88? I know, loud, but like, is it? Is there still 88 keys? I don't know. Is it just because it can't go in certain ranges? It's not like a harpsichord, but
I'm sure you might not.
It's a piano, a pianoforte.
Let's see. I wrote.
Where's the corrections for this?
Oh, and then we meet Colonel Brandon. My note is that he is gorgeous.
Honestly.
and it looks like he just squirted in a whole bottle of Visine before each shot. He looks like he's constantly about to cry. Constantly,
like someone must have had a cat on set and he had allergies the entire time.
But he was beautiful.
But that was the point too. Was
he?
Alan wait, hold on. Wait. No, I'm thinking of Willoughby. Sorry. Alan Rickman, yes. I mean, I loved Alan Rickman. Still do. R.I.P.
Mr. Takagi.
Anyway, he was so good in there. But yes, that's supposed to be Alan Rickman. But Colonel Brandon, my goodness.
He was gorgeous.
He was gorgeous.
And then I wrote John Willoughby is gorgeous.
But and he's supposed to be more, like, better looking than Brandon. But I didn't think they did that well. But he's gorgeous, yes. But I would prefer Colonel Brandon over.
So, like, the Brandon Willoughby dynamic is almost identical to the dynamic of the other two suitors in Pride and Prejudice. I was shocked that Sense and Sensibility is like 80% the same story as Pride and Prejudice. And it's like, you know how they say, like, Taco Bell has like 10 ingredients in the back and each dish is just them rearranging what order to put those Taco Bells on a tortilla. I mean, those ingredients on a tortilla. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm getting from these two Jane Austen stories.
It's like there's always, they went to war.
It's like there's the guy who's a dick, but he's secretly nice. Then there's the guy who's nice, but is secretly a dick.
And they all know each other. Yeah. Because they were in the war together.
Yeah. They don't specify what war. Like, Colonel Brandon, he's like, I went to war and got distinguished and came back home. I want to know more about
the 100-year war, maybe? what was going on, what religious war was going on back then.
When did this book come out?
The Habsburgs? I don't know. Do you want me to ask Fancy Lady?
No, it's okay. Those are just questions that will be out there. John and Marianne have an unchaperoned picnic. There's a lot of unchaperoned dates in this movie.
Oh, by the way, we didn't say which John. We've been calling him Willoughby.
Oh, sorry. I don't think anyone's following the plot.
Well, no, but you don't get we referenced John before, John the brother.
Oh,
so you want to be like,
sorry.
oh, okay, the brother and sister are having.
Okay.
No, they've been kicked
so
out.
Willoughby. Yeah, so Willoughby and Brandon are both potential suitors for Marianne, the middle daughter. And I just thought it was interesting that Willoughby and Marianne have an unchaperoned picnic.
Are you sure the little sister wasn't out there but just gallivanting around?
She wasn't in any of the scenes.
I don't remember.
Any of the shots, the camera angles.
Okay. Well, I believe she was supposed to be there.
And then here's my note, painting of a black guy, because I noticed that in the background of one of the shots. And then I noticed that painting show up in a different location. I wrote two-timing Edward.
Oh, that's right. At the picnic, they were saying, oh, my glasses. They were saying, like, who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite poet? And I was like, oh, my God. Yeah.
That was cute. Okay. Two-timing Edward. That's when we find out that Edward is
such a man whore. Like, who knew?
So that's when we find out he was secretly engaged to another cousin that just pops out of nowhere.
Lucy Steele.
For 4 years, they've been secretly engaged. I mean, take a hint. It's been 4 years.
We'll pause for a second. So remember how we talked about Fanny is the sister of Edward. And Fanny had a conversation with the oldest daughter of the Dashwoods, Eleanor Dashwood, saying that...
Dashwood's the name of the main family.
Correct.
Okay.
I know. I was trying to get that in there. Sorry. So Fanny was telling Eleanor, like, oh, it is my job that my mom has given me to make sure that Edward and Robert, the other brother, marry well.
Mm-hmm.
And
why is that her job?
I don't know. Because females do things right.
Isn't she the villain of this whole movie?
The point is, women get shit done.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Anyway.
Yeah, you can cuss.
Oh, okay. So that's when Eleanor knew that she didn't have a chance with Edward because of Fanny's conversation because Fanny goes, I'll never allow a marriage for my brothers to do this. I know. Who even knows if Fanny's like the oldest? And I don't know. But so clearly that's laid out there that Fanny will never get it. And then that's when Eleanor meets the Steele sisters because the mother-in-law, Miss Jennings of John Middleton, that's the estate they're staying at in Devonshire, invites the Steele sisters over to all join in for, who knows, if it's gossip or fun or whatever, but like, oh, I thought we'd just have a good girls' time. And then so that's when Lucy Steele meets Eleanor. And for some reason, Lucy Steele decides to confide in Eleanor where they just met. It's like girls best friending in a club bathroom. Tell you this, but right, exactly. And all of a sudden she's like, so I've been engaged to this guy that no one knows about for 4 years. And his name is Edward Ferris. And so Eleanor is trying to like cover her shockness up for surprise.
Hang on, so to make sure I'm following this. Okay. How are the Steele sisters related to Fanny?
They're not related to Fanny.
They're not related to Fanny.
To my knowledge.
They're just friends.
No, they don't know each other. Okay, that's why I corrected myself when I said Fanny and Eleanor.
Okay.
Okay, so this is what happened.
Yeah.
Do you know who Miss Jennings is?
No.
Miss Jennings is the mother-in-law of Sir John Middleton, who owns Barton Cottage, where the women are staying. The Dashwoods are staying.
Oh, right. Okay.
Right. So Miss Jennings, the ones that was like, oh, ho, ho, ho. That's what she sounds like. Okay. Yeah. She's like over the top. Anyway, so when they were like having their luncheon and they're like, she goes, here are the Steele sisters. I invited them because I thought it would be such a great time, all of us together. You Davonshire girls, Dashwood girls, with the Steele sisters. Same age, fun, like, yeah, we'll have a grand old time.
Gotcha.
You're here to entertain me. Because Miss Jennings feels like everyone around her's for her entertainment. That's why she's like spilling the tea and being gossipy and like being woo-hoo. Anyway, so that's how the Steele. No one at this time, I believe, is related to each other. Who knows? Maybe someone's a cousin, but that's neither here nor there at right now. So Lucy Steele is the one that's engaged to Edward. She confides that in Eleanor Dashwood, and they have a conversation about it. Okay. All right.
Yes.
And then later on, Fanny finds out because the youngest Steele sister spills the beans.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. For some reason, I thought everyone was marrying their cousins, but thank you for clarifying.
I mean, potentially. I can't say
well, you gotta
what
keep the money in the family or something.
the lineage is.
Yeah. All right. My next note is two-timing Edward. Mexican food is a rearrangement of ingredients. Kiss from a rose.
Yeah.
Where did this? Was this at the ball?
Yes, it was at the ball. There was a cellist playing "Kiss by the Rose."
Kiss from a rose on the brick by Seal.
By Seal.
Right.
Is he still alive or is he passed?
I don't know. I know he was in the movie Pop Star. He got mauled by wolves.
Maybe that's why I'm confused.
Okay, and then so when it wasn't. Yeah, when Marianne finally gets a letter from Willoughby saying, "Hey, I'm no longer interested in you and your stank ass."
Wait, who said that? Oh,
when Willoughby sends a letter to
was
Marianne.
brought by the tiniest of white men.
And he's
because when he jumped down and was next to, if it was Willoughby or he was next to, I don't know, maybe Colonel Brandon or Edward. He was so not Edward.
He was with Brandon.
Edward was white.
Yes.
That's what's messing me up right now. So he must have been next to Colonel Brandon. I don't know, but he was so tiny. Maybe he was the jockey that was teaching them all how to horse ride.
He's like, I'll do it for free if you put me in the movie. Anyways, so I thought it was funny that like while Willoughby is breaking up with Marianne in this letter, he signs it, "Your obedient and humble servant."
Oh, which by the way, he gifted her a horse.
Yeah, that was weird.
That he was gonna take.
He was hoping she'd show up at his stable and ride it. And then I wrote bank accounts because I thought that was funny. Then I wrote the actress who played Eleanor was very good.
Very good.
She was really good.
She was good.
But maybe she also just stands out because everyone around her was not good.
I think Marianne was played just like Kate Winslet in the other one as well.
Okay.
To where she clearly is like damsel in distress. Wait, damsel. I'm sorry. Hi. In distress and very easily wooed.
And then my last note was second choice because Edward shows up and he's like, "Oh no, I'm not going to marry that person that I promised I'd marry 4 years ago. I'm going to marry you instead." And she's all excited to be his second choice. That's all.
Yeah, they didn't end with the wedding.
Yeah, they kissed and then the movie ended. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know Hallmark movies have to end with a kiss, but like also I don't think they could kiss without them being actually married. Oh no, they did get married. I'm sorry. They kissed and then we saw the wedding. They were wearing blue and white.
I fell asleep the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. There was everyone was wearing blue and white.
Hallmark, if you watch this, can you start your movies at 7 Eastern Standard Time and not 8? Like 9:30 I'm out.
So now I remember they were standing on the balcony because they couldn't get rights to film inside the building. They kiss and the camera zooms in and then a priest teleported behind them and then it zooms back out and you're inside a wedding chapel and they've got different clothes on. So it was really a cut, but it was really well matched cut. And you're like, "Oh, they're kissing," and then he's like, "Oh, you're wearing the deepest voiced chaplain. I'm doing it because the bride." But I'm like, they're already kissing. And then the camera pulls out. And I was like, "Oh, that was a fun trick," but it was very startling.
Was it 1 or 2 weddings? Was it a double wedding?
I think it was just one wedding.
Yeah,
but I remember
the other one, it's a double wedding.
I remember Marianne, or no, it was Eleanor. Eleanor was wearing. Wait, hey, Eleanor got with Edward, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was Eleanor's wedding. That's right. Marianne did get proposed to earlier on.
By Colonel Brandon.
Yeah, Colonel Brandon. Okay, so what are some of your notes?
Oh, wait, did we talk about, the sister Marianne,
Meg just gets written out of the story. Margaret, sorry.
Oh, no, she goes by Meg.
Okay, well,
Meg
I feel
and
like
Margaret, it's
she stopped being a character basically 30 minutes into the movie. She just vanished.
Right.
She just plays piano in the
But
drawing room.
we didn't talk about Marianne getting sick from like the infection from her ankle and refusing to eat
and then just hanging out in the rain.
And just hanging out in the rain. Somehow able to stand and walk all the way out there when she like needed people to help her all the time. So there
twisted ankle somehow turned into her almost dying. And the doctor's like,
he's like, bitch, I don't know. I'm going on to my next patient.
There's nothing more I can do.
Yeah, she doesn't want to eat, so she's not going to get better. And then Eleanor, to save the day, and calls the mother and Meg to come to them.
Brandon was the one who saved everyone by going to pick them up. So like, thank you so much, Colonel Brandon, for picking up my family and bringing them to me.
Yes. So, it takes someone dying, I guess, for them to realize that someone else loves them as always. So Hallmark was like, we can use this story to our advantage. Anyway, so there was that. I guess they didn't want to bring in the leeches though to drain out her infected blood. Anyway, so I thought the budget that they had appeared to be very well done in regards to costumes, the drone footage to making us feel like we are inside those mansions, in my opinion, as well as the lighting. I think they did a great job for their lighting in regards to having us tell what time of day it was, and actually, not knowing if they were outside or what. I was like, they did a great job. And like the rain scene, I'm sorry,
that's true. It's
always
shot.
Fake snow that we see. That's clearly that's whenever we're at a Hallmark movie. I'm making it sound
there must have been someone off camera with a hose just pointing it at the air like you do when you're a kid.
Who knows? But they did a good job in the lighting. You could see the rain, see the good drops, but they were also over Marianne in that scene too. That's what I was trying to also get to about Marianne standing in the rain. That scene was a good scene for Hallmark, and like the perspective that they gave of that camera shot. So the lighting.
Any other notes you had?
No, I'm just replaying Kiss from a Rose. From a Rose or by?
Okay, so these are
Kiss by a Rose.
Kiss from a Rose. I think it's from. Okay, so these are my scores that I'm giving it. Out of 10.
Scores. Oh, I didn't do scores.
So for writing, I gave it 4 because I thought the overall story was dumb. The biggest issue I had is like they meet a character and immediately fall in love with the character after their first conversation.
So then you're just saying Jane Austen's.
Well, Jane Austen's book is probably more than 2 hours worth of content.
Okay, this movie's only 90 minutes, so
that's what I'm saying. Like, it was badly adapted.
Okay, I guess you didn't get. Yeah,
and it did say bank
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yes, I understand now. I'm sorry.
Badly adapted.
Got it.
I haven't seen the Kate Winslet.
That's what like made me.
Probably more realistic development of crushes on people and stuff.
Yes, these flowers aren't from the hot house. You'll know what I'm referencing.
Acting, I gave it a 4 out of 10. It would have been 3, but I really liked the actress who played Eleanor. Everyone around her was terrible. Margaret did a terrible job of acting like a 9-year-old.
The best child, that's a weird word, actor or whatever is just, I'm going to go back to who played on Tim Allen's Santa Claus, the main elf manager.
Bernard.
No, the woman. The girl who went on Cripple Crabble.
The Santa Clauses, the series.
Santa Claus, not Clauses.
Clauses, sorry. The Santa Clauses TV series. The head elf.
Is it still pluralized?
Yeah, because it's supposed to be their family. Oh. They're the Clauses.
I did not pay attention. Like
No, plural, not possessive.
You shouldn't have to say that out loud.
It's okay.
Anyway, I
But
can't.
yeah, she was also in Station 11. She's wonderful.
Oh, that's right.
But she's a child playing an adult. That's different than a tween playing a child.
Well, she should get used to playing younger. I don't know. Just.
But anyways, a lot of people brought the acting down. Eleanor is what made it not a 3.
Eleanor in the storyline having to take care of everyone
Mm-hmm.
and having to carry this whole thing.
Oh,
on
sick,
her.
sick Marianne was not believable in the least. She was like, I'm sick.
That's exactly how I think she was supposed to be played.
All
Like
right.
just
Directing, I did have 3 written, but you reminded me of the rain scene. I'm like, okay, that even if it was someone just spraying a hose into the air,
they sprayed it very well.
they sprayed it very well, and that shot was lit well. That might have been a second unit director, like they call in someone for the more context shots, but
yeah.
Overall directing, I'm giving a 4 out of 10. So 4s across the board. And that was Sense and Sensibility.
Yeah.
Once again, directed by Roger M. Bobb, written by Tim Huddleston and Jane Austen.
Brought to you by Hallmark Mahogany.
Yeah, I wonder if there's any fun trivia. Countries of origin: United States, Canada, Bulgaria, Ireland.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Ireland. She fell down the hill in Ireland.
Yeah, I guess so.
Bulgaria must have been where the castles were. Estates.
Yeah. A lot of this must have just been...
What?
Oh, the production company is UFO International Productions.
So we both saw it at the same time.
Yeah, that's
They're
weird.
the drone footage.
Huh. Visual effects. And just interesting. IMDb's got some weird things you see when you're looking at this stuff.
Yeah, you can add it to your 2024 movie list.
I will.
Those women are beautiful.
Yeah.
Their headshots.
I do want to see some trivia because I'm sure there's interesting stuff, but I doubt anybody wrote any trivia.
It was just released last night.
Yeah.
It was its premiere.
I mean, IMDb has it as a 5.9 out of 10. That is generous, I gotta say. All right, well, thank you all so much for listening to our nonsense, and get ready to hear more of it when the holiday movies come out.
Thank you.
So do you know the subject of the next Hallmark movie that's part of Loveuary?
See, I thought it was another Jane Austen one, but now I don't know.
Like, I don't necessarily... I'm not exactly excited about adaptations of historical stories unless they modernize it, because then I won't be staring at the lack of budget.
I mean, I still like seeing the period movie of it. And, you know, who doesn't like a good British thing? Oh, they all did very... I don't know where the actors are from, but I thought they had good British accents.
Yeah, I'll give them that.
Yeah, you know.
Except for the community theater guy. He sounds like an American guy pretending to be British.
I think, yeah, because that... Oh...
Now I gotta see where that actor's from.
Yeah.
Let's see. So he played Mr.
Because our British accents, any accent we do, turns into a Jamaican accent.
Hello.
Just like that. They did good.
So that was Edward Bennett, Sir John Middleton.
Sir John Middleton.
Oh, he doesn't even have a picture on IMDb. Oh,
he's British.
Oh, he's British. Okay. Born in Honeybourne, Worcestershire, England. That sounds delicious, actually. He was in Warhorse, Napoleon from last year. Royal Shakespeare Company, Love's Labour's Lost. Okay. Well, doesn't mean he did a good job in this movie. All right. So tonight's movie is probably also Jane Austen-y.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll let you know about it in the next one, but it was fun.
Yeah, we'll take some
This
notes.
has been fun. Thank you.
It's been fun. All right. Well, thank you. Okay. And I guess that's the end there.
Yeah.
Oh, tell them where they can follow you if they want to learn more about you and what you do.
Oh, and when I do, you are please visit my website at tampabayhomesforsale.realestate. Again, tampabayhomesforsale.realestate. You can follow me on Leslie Haas FL on Instagram and Leslie Haas Realtor on Facebook. My email address is lesliehaasfl@gmail.com.
And Haas is spelled with 2 A's.
That's why I paused.
Yeah.
H. A as in alpha, A as in alpha, S as in Sierra.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Art for Profit's Sake is recorded through Riverside FM, distributed through Spotify for podcasters, and edited on Adobe Audition. The music is provided by Old Romans. If you learned anything useful or found this podcast helpful, please rate and review us 5 stars. If you want to learn more about me or my art, head over to chainassembly.com.
Are you ready to paint your own canvas in the real estate world as a homeowner? It's Leslie Haas from Realty One Group Sunshine, and I'm here to talk home equity, your masterpiece in the housing market. Imagine owning a piece of property that's not just a place to call yours, but also an investment opportunity. It's time to take that brush and start creating equity in your dream home. With interest rates on the verge of dropping, get ahead of the curve and secure your artistic haven before the next rush. Whether you're a first-time homebuyer or upgrading your studio, let's sketch out your home ownership dreams together. To learn more, visit tampabayhomesforsale.realestate.